Hi everyone, Megan Makeever Ali here, the new flute instructor at Montana State University. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a performance of a really cool piece with you called Movin' On by Rhonda Larson, who happens to be a Montana State University alumni and also a Grammy Award-winning composer and flutist. I chose to perform this piece because it seems reflective of how our society is moving through this pandemic. At times, the music is so hopeful and light before flipping a switch and becoming dramatic, anxious, and intense. After all the emotional turmoil and build in this piece, there is a moment of pure calm before returning to the theme that is joyful and buoyant. And I really hope that as a society we can move through this pandemic sooner rather than later and come out on the other end just in the manner of how this piece is resolving. After the brief performance, I will be sharing a few tips about how to make technical pieces sound musical, because I know that that's something that us musicians all struggle with. So if you're a flute student or a music student of any kind, I hope that you stick around for those tips. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the performance of Movin' On by Rhonda Larson. I just wanted to share 3 simple tips with you about how to make technically challenging pieces like this one sound a little bit more musical rather than a frantic string of very difficult notes. So, tip number 1, think horizontally about the music instead of vertically. I'll give you a little insight on what I mean by this. In technically challenging pieces like this one, it's very easy to get bogged down and hung up on individual notes and individual chunks of notes, just thinking da-ga-da, 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 especially if we're worried about getting it right. However, in order for the piece to have momentum and to have a sense of it rolling along, and that's really important for this piece, we need to think horizontally about it. We need to think about those fast notes, they're leading somewhere. They're traveling, having a sense of direction. So in these phrases with the sextuplets, thinking about that there's a downbeat and then there's 5 extra notes, those 5 extra notes are actually leading somewhere. Thinking da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da. There's an image that always comes to mind when I'm thinking about the sense of direction in quick notes. It's actually by it's from John Crell's Kincaiddiana. And so if you look over here, you'll see a man running over 16th notes. And I think this is a great visual representation of the function of quick notes. The man is running to a destination, whether it's the peak of a phrase or maybe a cadence. So this concept is actually a wonderful bridge into the next tip that I have. In order to keep a sense of momentum in this piece, I really had to think about how I was going to articulate my notes. So tip number 2, keep the tongue light. This tip is very specific to this piece and might not pertain to all technical pieces. However, in Movin' On, there are a lot of notes that need to be individually articulated. So in this piece, I was triple tonguing. Do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do. Now the thing is, in the sextuplets, if I am tonguing with a very labored, thuddy tongue, and harsh syllables like taka-ta, 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 first of all, the air is going to get stuck. And also my tongue will not be moving in a way that is going to help the agility of my tongue. So I need to keep the syllables light, saying do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do-do-ga-do with just the tip of my tongue, only moving as much as it needs to. While we're talking about tonguing and air, I just wanted to add one little side mini tip that's very important. So whenever we're thinking about tonguing, tonguing is always a decoration of our airstream. So I'm always thinking about the air doing more work than the tongue, and that the tongue is just riding on the airstream, but it's all about the air that you're using. Tip number 3, bring out the bass line. In the performance, I really tried to lean on and emphasize those low notes, kind of add a little bit more meat and gusto and volume. I did this for 3 reasons I can think of right now. 1, those low notes actually provide a very strong sense of rhythmic stability, because those low notes are mostly on downbeats, or the first beat, which is, of course, the strongest beat of the measure. I also brought out the low notes for a second reason. Low notes actually, and the bass line specifically, provides the listener a sense of harmonic direction. So it's actually kind of indicating where we are going and what cadences might be coming up. And number 3, I think bringing out low notes kind of provides a nice distinguished contrast between low notes and high notes, so that they have a different character. There are many, 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 many more things that I could say about making technical pieces more musical. However, I don't want to take your whole day, so I'll leave you with those tidbits to start you on your journey to becoming a more mature musician. Watch out for more YouTube videos on the Montana State University channel. There are some wonderful things that my colleagues are doing, and we'd love to keep you updated about what is happening in our music department. Take care.